In these Gorbals streets are the roots of a child who would grow up to become the man that exported football to a South American hotspot. Alexander Watson Hutton was born hereabouts in 1853, his house now demolished like so much of this area. He was born into a Fife family who had moved west in the 1840s in search of work. While Alexander was a baby, they were on the move again, this time to Edinburgh. It was from there that he would become the father of Argentinian football. Tragedy struck the Watson Huttons. Both of Alexander's parents died, and a younger brother too. He was sent to live with his grandmother in the west of Edinburgh. She too passed away. He came here to live with a kindly widow in St Patrick's Square in the centre of Edinburgh. Because he was an orphan, he was awarded a place at a top local school. It was there that he began to realise the potential in education. He worked his way up to attend Edinburgh University and paid for his own studies by teaching. As a teacher, he preached the greatness of sport and the joy of football. He yearned, though, for more tropical, exotic climes. In 1882, he set sail for Buenos Aires, where he took up a position as a rector at the St Andrew's Scotch School.
There's evidence that when he set up his own school, he got a friend of his to bring in a bag of deflated footballs. And there's the story, which I suspect might be apocryphal, but let's pretend it's not. The Argentinian customs had no idea what these things were, and they had two ideas what they might be, were hats or wineskins, and in the end just wrote them off as items for the crazy English. So the British did what they did elsewhere, that they set up schools, they set up social clubs, and football was part of that. And it spread through the schools. I mean, the British had a huge influence in Argentina, that although it was never part of a formal part of the empire, it was sort of a de facto part of the empire. The British ran the banking system, they ran the trains. And Watson Hutton then in 1893, so the first championship was 1891, there's no championship 1892, 1893 Watson Hutton takes it over, sets up the league that has run continuously to this day, and in that league he put in his school team, a team of old boys from his school. Then it was a couple of years later, a law was passed to say you couldn't advertise through the name of your football team. So if you had the name of the school in the team, that was seen as advertising. So he changed the name to Alumni, and they were all alumni of English High School. And they were the real power in Argentinian football.
Even as recently as the 1980s and 90s, Argentinian internationals have included men named Jose Luis Brown and Carlos Javier McAllister, both direct descendants of Scottish pioneers. Alexander Watson Hutton, a man born in the Gorbals and who first kicked a ball around these fields in Edinburgh, had an enormous effect on the Argentinian and world game.